said, "Hey, we're having this event on the headquarters at Unilever. Do you want to present?" And that's when this partnership started. And since then, I think I've been like to a infinite number of Brand Innovators events. And the main reason why I always try to join is that I always felt that there was no go-to place for marketeers, right? I mean, I think that we as marketeers, I mean, I'm assuming that most people here are from marketing, like we end up like seeing each other in Cannes or South by Southwest or CES or Art Basel, but the epicenter of those events is not necessarily marketing. And I think that Brand Innovators does an incredible job for our community of marketeers by creating a safe space where you can meet people, like where we can discuss opportunities, challenges that we have, like instead of like just being alone in the office, like which can feel very lonely. Like and coming here, it always felt like a safe space to learn and to share a bit of the knowledge. I've been living in Miami since end of 2013. Miami is the city I lived the longest my whole life. I'm Brazilian, that's why I have this funny accent. But I never lived more than 11 years anywhere in any city in Brazil. So Miami now feels like home. We're in Sunny Isles. End up like traveling a lot because I'm here, but I love being here. And it's great to have you guys for the event here in Miami. We have a packed agenda today. I will try to keep us on time. We started a little bit later than we should. Welcome to Miami. But like I'm sure that as we go, we have some slack here and there, and we'll make it up for the time we had. We had some really cool people coming today. I know some of them, and some of them I was eager to meet, like to hear a little bit about Wild Fork. Like I'm a big fan of the brand. I'm a massive Wild Fork consumer, and I can prove that. I will pull my app and show you how much I order from Wild Fork. I have one next to where I live in Sunny Isles. Like it's like, well, like, it's not walking distance, but I end up like I can order on the app, but I always go there because I just like how it smells and how neat that place is. Like we'll have a Cheesecake Factory. Like like it's an awesome agenda with different businesses, different brands, and I'm sure we'll all live better than how it started. I'm also presenting, so I should cut the crap and start presenting. Else, will be even later, like in terms of the presentation. And when I saw the topic of the presentation of the summit, right, around technology, there are some presentations around partnerships. I thought, look, I mean, let me look here at the things I've done in the past, and think about like what can benefit the most the audience. Like at the moment, I am an operating partner on a private equity group, so I'm working with several different brands like Pollo Tropical. For the ones of Florida, you probably know the brand. Fat Tuesday, which is more fun than it should be. And Wolfgang. I'm also doing some consulting for Burger King, for Notco. So I'm diversifying my portfolio. Before that, I was with Activision Blizzard, which is gaming. Before that, I was with RBI, which is Burger King, Popeyes, Tim Hortons. Before that, I spent a lifetime in Unilever. I was in Unilever for almost 20 years. Like it sounds really long when I say it like that, but I was moving around different places, different brands, and it's a great place to work on. So I chose gaming to talk about because I feel that like I grew up playing video games. Like I always liked video games. I still have my game watches. Like I'm really aging myself here. You probably don't even know what that means, but like I still I have a collection of every single video game you can think of. Like I have two Nintendo Switches at the moment because my 9-year-old doesn't like sharing. And when I had the opportunity to work with Activision Blizzard, I jumped on it because I felt that I could learn a lot. Because I knew the gaming through the lenses of a consumer, but I never really worked on that. And so that I could also tell my mom that all that gaming paid off somehow. So I was there for 2 years, and it was amazing. I learned like really a lot. Activision Blizzard, for the ones who don't know the company, it's basically like 3 companies in one, and now they are part of Microsoft. So it's basically like Activision, Blizzard, and King. Activision, the biggest game is Call of Duty, which has been one of the largest games in the world for as long as I can remember. And if there are any Call of Duty's fans in the house, I did bring some. if you want, the Modern Warfare 3, which is the latest one. I have like 10 that I can give away. Um, then you have Blizzard with World of Warcraft, Diablo, Overwatch. It's more like PC-based game. And we have King that has Candy Crush, which is a ginormous game. I don't think people realize how big Candy Crush is. And in fact, like I think that people don't realize how big gaming is. You know, like people tend to, like when I was in Unilever or when I was on RBI, we didn't think much about gaming. We started to think more about gaming with Burger King towards the ending of my my time at RBI. But it's a ginormous space. You know, gaming is larger than linear TV, global film, and global music combined. Like you can add those three things, right? And we, as marketeers, we tend to think a lot about those things, but many times we don't think a lot about gaming. Like I said, Candy Crush is ginormous. Like Candy Crush has more than 3 billion downloads as a game. Candy Crush has more than 200 million active monthly users. It's larger than the Super Bowl, like Candy Crush. Like Candy Crush can be a media platform if you think about it, right? In fact, King does monetize in terms of advertising and media, like as many other free-to-play games do. If you think about the franchises, and I could pick franchises that are not from Activision, and the picture would be somewhat similar, right? If I look at Call of Duty, Warcraft, Candy Crush, they are larger than the entire box office of Star Wars or Harry Potter or Lord of the Rings. Like, and I'm just showing you that because normally we don't think that way, especially if you don't play, right? I mean, when I told my friends that I was going to Activision Blizzard, and they asked like, "Oh, what games?" I say, "Call of Duty." I'm like, "Oh, Call of Duty," and Candy Crush, and people are like, "Candy Crush? Does that still exist?" You know what I mean? Like, because if you don't play, it's invisible to you, right? But there are like more than 200 million people in the world playing monthly that game. So it's really huge. Candy Crush alone, King alone, my budget for performance marketing was more than $500 million. Performance marketing, I'm not talking the total budget, just so you understand the size of that monster, right? Gamers are everyone. In fact, when I was there, we never even used the word gamers, right? And I'm saying that because sometimes people are like, "Oh yeah, but my brand is more traditional. Like my people don't play video games." Wrong. Like they may not play Call of Duty. You know what I mean? Like I think that there is a game for everyone, and most people in the world they do play. Like they may not play the game that you think they do, but everyone is playing. We only use the word gamers when I was there when we were talking about professional gamers, right? Because if everyone plays, using the word gamers is like saying, "Oh, we are going to target TV watchers," right? Because everyone watches TV in some shape or form. You don't say that. So we also don't say, "Let's target gamers." Like I think that the correct way to go about it is like, let's target people who play this game because there is an overlap with our target audience or they over-index with people that we want to reach, right? Anyway, this is like time spent, right? Playing video game. Like, so imagine this, like we talk a lot about TikTok, YouTube, like all social platforms, and I cannot think about us building a marketing plan without having a discussion about how much we're going to spend on those things. But in reality, people spend more time playing video game than in most of the platforms. So maybe, and that's the point here, maybe we should discuss and think about how can we leverage gaming as part of our brand investment. I love this quote. It was on the New York Times. At first, we play video games because we were friends. Now we are friends because we play video games. Like if you look at the reason why people play Call of Duty, the number one is to connect with friends. The number two is to meet new people. You know, like when I play video game when I was a kid, I used to play Mario, yeah, and I would like go to my room and play Mario by myself, and I would give up trying to defeat Bowser, and I would go to bed. But it was a one-person assignment, right? Or I would be playing, my mom would call me to have dinner, I would pause, go have dinner, and come back. Today, that's not how game works. Like you are playing with other people, there is no pausing. Yeah, because it's live. You cannot play FIFA and pause the game in the middle if you're playing with someone else. Like you cannot play Warzone, which is the free-to-play for Call of Duty, and pause the game. It doesn't work that way. So it's much more social than many people realize, especially if you played as a kid. Like especially if you're over 40 and you play as a kid, it was a completely different environment back then than what it is today. So this is just like trying to explain why it's important, like how people are interacting with gaming and so on and so forth. I know, like, what the fuck is that, right? I mean, you're talking about, like, it will make sense in a second. Bear with me. And sorry, I am the MC that does curse, so I should have said that in the beginning. So I'll just play this for you to watch.
America runs on Bulova time.
But like, this is the first TV spot ever aired in the US, okay? And it was just that. Sorry to disappoint you. Like, so it was someone either calling the time or saying that America runs on Bulova time. I think that was the copy on that one. And I'm showing you this because it's very common that every time a new channel or a new way to connect with consumers comes to life, people tend to think about that channel with the paradigm of the previous channel. Yeah. So the first TV spot in the US is a radio ad, right? I mean, that's a radio. It's not like that doesn't make any, doesn't leverage image in any shape or form. It could have. Many of the first TV spots in the US or anywhere, it was someone with a microphone reading. Yeah. Because people were thinking about it as radio. Yeah. So many times when I was on Activision, and the partnership team used to report to me on Activision. So I was talking to brands all the time, and I was trying to educate people in terms of like how gaming works and trying to craft partnerships that would make sense to the brand. Many times people would come to me and say like, oh, we want to put our logo in a billboard on Call of Duty, or we want to like run an ad during the break while the game is loading, or we want, and I always felt like, oh my God, they are thinking with the paradigm of advertising as they know it. You know, they want to do a billboard inside of a digital thing, right? I mean, which could work. Like if you have a game that's a racing game, and you want to have the same advertising that you have on the real racing track on the game, that works because it's making the game more authentic and more real. Now, if you slap a logo that doesn't belong in Verdansk, which is the city for Warzone, people are going to get pissed with you. And I never saw in any, oh, well, there is one, but like in 99.9% of product categories that I know, I never saw people so freaking obsessed with the product as gamers are, or people who play the game are with that product. You know, like people are brutal in Reddit, Twitter. Like you do something that they dislike. It's not like if Dove launches a new variant that people don't like the smell, there will be no riot. Like people are not going to go to like in front of Unilever in Black Friday to say, fuck off, Dove, give us like, you know, it doesn't work that way. In-game is like hardcore. The only category that is similar to me as a Brazilian is the soccer teams, right? Because the people who play that specific game, it's part of their identity. That's why there is so much cosplay going on. Like they feel they own the game as much as Activision or Riot or Ubisoft or anyone or any of those guys. So you need to be very careful, right? It's different. Like one thing is, oh, the Super Bowl is happening and we are going to put an ad on the Super Bowl, right? The audience of the Super Bowl is passive. They're just sitting there watching the game and you put an ad. By the way, ads on Super Bowl are the number 2 reason why people watch the Super Bowl. So it works, right? Gaming is not like that. Gaming is like you are showing an ad to the people who are playing the game, yeah? So it will be the equivalent of me going around during the Super Bowl to Tom Brady and with a Dove pack and say, hey, Brady, buy this. Like that wouldn't work, right? So that's how you need to think about gaming. So how should you go about it? Well, I think you should go about it first identifying which game has the, as I said, the overlap to your target audience or overlap with people you want to reach, and understand that game inside and out. Understand why people play, what are their motivations, like what they're trying to accomplish, what's the vibe, what's the tone. The vibe on Call of Duty is different than the vibe on Candy Crush, right? And then think about how can I add value to that experience, okay? It cannot be an ad. Like it needs to be like how I make the experience of the game better. If you do that, the guys that play that game, they will like you. You know, like if you find a way to make the experience better. Like how I'm doing with time. Like I already started bad, right? So I'm just doing a quick time check here as the responsible MC that I am. I will show 2 case studies. They are 2 minutes each, okay? One was a partnership that we did with Kraft Heinz for Call of Duty, and the other one is a partnership that we did with Burger King for Call of Duty. So let me play this one. I hope the sound works.
These were games back then. Slow, simple, chill. And if needed, we just hit the pause button. These are games now. Fast-paced, complex, professional, and no pause button. When do these people even eat? They don't. Because if you bite, you die. Bite, die. Bite, die. See? So Heinz teamed up with Call of Duty, the #1 game in the world, to figure out the best spots to snack safely on their brand new map. This is Heinz Hidden Spots. To kick things off, we sent burger wraps containing a few hidden spots directly to top influencers from around the world.
Lots of hidden spots in Warzone.
And invited them to look for others.
Now this is hidden.
I'm gonna kick back and dig into my burger.
Who would think to find us over here?
We got the nice view. We can eat our burger in peace. No one will find us here.
Cuidado, mordí con mi hamburguesa.
Effectuer ce kill si je n'avais pas eu mon ketchup Heinz.
Heinz ketchup has given us energy.
In only a few hours, the gaming community got hungry for more, and hundreds of spots were mapped out organically in other blockbuster games.
This is the most secret spot on the map. You can actually enter these waterfalls, head right.
Espérate, tengo que morder mi hamburguesa en el hidden spot.
¡Hala! ¡Teníamos!
That's the high, soldier. Hunger terminated.
Mission accomplished, soldier. Heinz Hidden Spots. Eat burgers, not bullets.
Let me eat my burger in peace!
So it was a really fun one. We didn't have to make any change in the game. That's the other thing. If you need to make a change in the game to make your brand part of it, it's a pain in the neck. Yeah, like it takes forever. It's not as simple as, oh yeah, it's digital. You can just do it quick. And no. Like the developers will kill you. Like it's really tricky. The other one, which I thought was really fun, was like, and again, I'm trying to explain because I don't know if people play the game, but like Call of Duty has a map that's very famous that was called Burger Town. And Burger Town had like a QSR fast food restaurant that had a logo that was very similar to Burger King. Of course, it was inspired on Burger King. So when we were launching Modern Warfare 2, which was a massive hit, it was the #1 game in sales in 2022, we created, you sell skins on the game, okay? Like you sell what we call operators, bless you. Like, and they cost like $20, okay? The operator with all the stuff. So we said, let's go to Burger King and offer the exclusive operator as part of a promotion with them. That it's a guy that comes with the uniform, with the T-shirt from Burger Town, yeah? And it was really cool. I will show you the operator in a second. So I went to Burger King and said, guys, like it was my old team, so they knew me, right? Like, so hey, I'm going to allow you to print money. Yeah, and they were like, what are you talking about? I'm like, you're going to print money. You want to print money? It's like this. I'm going to give you an operator that costs $20, okay? So everyone who plays the game knows that it costs around $20, and you can put the operator for free with your $5 combo. Because for me, there is no cost, right? And then like, what's the catch? I was saying, there's no catch. Like, I only ask you to do one thing. I need you to invest this amount of money to promote the promotion. And I chose the amount of money that I know they invest every month on promotion, right? And for them, it's solving two problems. First, they had no idea what the promotion they would do would be, like 3 months ahead of time, because like that's not how QSR moves. So I was giving to them an idea with the money that they were already planning to spend to print money, because every single player would be like, oh, I go there, I spend $5. And I told them, if you do this, get ready, because I bet whatever you want, that people are going to come, order the combo, and not want the combo. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I'll go to Burger King and be like, hey, I want the Modern Warfare 2 combo, but I don't want any of the products. I just want the code, because it comes on the receipt, the code for you to download, right? And all countries in the world for Burger King did, the US decided not to do. I'm not going to open that Pandora's box here, but like, you can ask me afterwards if I'm not having a pepperoni 0%, and then I can tell you. But like, the US didn't do, and it was like, guys, are you kidding me? The US is the largest market for Call of Duty, and you're not doing it. Like, this will be it will cause problems. I will skip the video because I think I explained the idea. But so this was the operator, right? That we gave away with the purchase of the Modern Warfare 2 combo. This is, I think, in Puerto Rico. They did a whole restaurant with Modern Warfare 2. And this is what happened, okay? People were going in Europe, in London, in France, like all countries in Europe. There were people going to the restaurant, okay, and taking orders on eBay for the Americans to send them the code, yeah? And they were charging, don't take my word for it, okay? There were like hundreds of people doing that. Like, Google it, and then you see. They were charging up to like $22, $23, like for the operator, which is the price. They were charging $22 is higher than a regular operator price. But there is something in gaming that you need to understand that's called peacocking, right? When you are playing with your friends, if a guy shows up with a fucking like glow-in-the-dark gun, like people are like, oh, that's fucking cool. How did you get this? Like, you know what I mean? Like, it was the same. Like, for all your American friends, the guy shows up with the Burger Town operator. It's like, how the fuck did you get that? You know, like, so that's why people were paying more than what a regular operator price would be. I can show you guys in the break. I don't have in the slides, but the guy from Brazil, Ariel, he was the CMO. Now he's the CEO for Burger King in Brazil. He sent me pictures of a guy that came to the restaurant, ordered 150 Whopper combos, and said, I don't want any of them. I just want the receipt. So I have the picture of the guy holding the receipt. Like, you see, but that's, my point here is like, there are ways to do it, you know, like, and there are sometimes simple ways to do it. And it's just something that I'm not saying like, hey, make sure that you definitely have gaming as part of your marketing plan. It's more like, just think about it. Yeah, like, but think ahead of time, because sometimes it takes a long time to make some of that happen, to convince the developers, the teams. There's a lot of red tape because there's a lot of people involved on stuff like that. But just think about it, because sometimes there are opportunities that are simple. The Kraft Heinz one, we had to change absolutely anything. Here, we were already launching the operator. I just pulled the operator out, and Burger King invested, and I had to spend less advertising money when I launched Modern Warfare, because Burger King was promoting Modern Warfare with a really cool ad that we developed together. Yeah, so like, just to wrap it up, yes, gaming is a massive platform. It's larger than music, film, and TV, all put together. Gamers are everyone. In fact, we don't even use the word gamers. Like, everyone is playing, right? I think that the trick as a brand is like finding what's the right game for you. You know, like, what game is really like reaching your target audience. This is something that we used to say internally. It's not just a place to market in. It's a new marketplace altogether. You know, like, it's a completely different environment. Yeah, and what you're good at. I didn't talk about this, but like as a brand, I used to think like, okay, we are going to pitch an idea to Burger King. What are they good at? Oh, they are funny, self-deprecating, a little bit out there. So our ideas that we pitch, they need to be like that. You know, like what is Heinz good at? Oh, Heinz is good at like, you know, you need to think about what the brand can offer, and then try to think about ideas that will translate that offer in a way that will be value adding to the people who are playing that specific game. Yeah, and that's all I had. I hope we still have time for a quick and short Q&A. Else, I would just blame the MC about running over. Oh fuck! Like, but like, that's all I had for you guys. Thank you very much. I'm happy to take questions. Thank you. Yes.
So, like, do you think there's a bigger play? So, obviously, like Call of Duty costs $70, $60 or whatever. Fortnite, you can download free. Do you think there's more of a play for the free-for-play games that you can buy the skins or where they get on the back end? And then the second part of that is like, gaming is big, and like you said, it's a social gaming community. I was watching an interview yesterday of like Caitlin Clark was saying like she just got to a press conference. She was like, I got a training camp, but I'm not going out. I'm going to play my Xbox, right? Do you think there's a bigger play there to tie into sports and communities while playing, maybe watch parties?
Yeah, so good question. So there are different games sometimes have different monetization, like ways to monetize their players, right? Call of Duty has a premium version that costs like around $70, and every year there is a new one. Call of Duty also has free-to-play. Which is like a battle royale style, like similar to Fortnite in terms of being battle royale, which is free to play. And then they monetize there with microtransactions, selling glow-in-the-dark guns and operators and stuff like that, just like Fortnite also sells, right? Candy Crush is free to play, mobile game, like monetizes through sponsorships and media, monetized through selling lives. You know, so each game is kind of like a little bit different, and I don't think that there is a one-size-fits-all recipe that you should follow and the game will be successful. Like if you think about Diablo, Diablo has a premium game that we sell. Diablo has a free-to-play version in mobile. You know what I mean? Like most mobile games are free-to-play, and they monetize through microtransactions. In terms of console and PC, is a mix of free-to-play and premium that you pay. Watch parties and like I think that the watch party, like esports is growing. So I've been to stadiums full of people watching people play Overwatch. You know what I mean? Like or Call of Duty, full, like 40,000 people cheering. I brought my wife. She had no idea what was going on because she doesn't play Overwatch or Call of Duty. And when it's so frenetic, the thing, so many screens that you really get lost. I play and I was a bit lost. I think that the dynamic of the category may be a bit different than a watch party. To me, the watch party in a game today is streaming, is Twitch, right? Like, and it's virtual, right? I don't know if you guys ever watch a good influencer streaming a game. It's fun to watch. You know what I mean? Like the people who are the good ones, they have a very like charismatic personality, and they're not just playing; they narrate the game. Like I don't know about you, but like when I was a kid, I used to enjoy watching my friends play as much as playing myself, right? So that behavior evolved to streaming. There are some streamers that are larger than many social media influencers that are probably part of your marketing plan. You know, like if you think about Ninja, if you think about Dr. Disrespect, those guys are like ginormous. Like, and if I did not have worked for Activision, just being honest with you, I would probably not know who they were. You know, like I started to learn a little bit more about the space at the end of my tenure at Burger King. So I think it's something that if you don't play, and I think that we are all very busy, kids and all, so you probably play less than even if you were growing up playing video games. Like you need to make almost like an effort to understand the space. You know what I mean? Like because you need to be in the space to be able to identify those things. Yeah? Cool. Yes, one here. Yeah.
Curious to hear your opinion on the rush for brands to build out these custom experiences experiences in the worlds and like Roblox?
Yeah, like I don't want to be controversial, yeah, but I don't like it. To be honest with you, like, and it may work for some people. Like, I don't think that I am well informed enough to judge that it doesn't work anytime, but I just don't like it because it feels so commercial. You know, I remember when everyone was talking about metaverse, and I was always saying, guys, metaverse? I play Second Life. Like, World of Warcraft is metaverse. What are you talking about? And then people would come to me and say, like, oh, we want to create our bank on the metaverse. And I was like, guys, I don't want to go to your bank in real life. You know what I mean? Like, why on my leisure time I will want to do that? So, it just feels very inauthentic. You know, like when I see that, like, when I see those type of activations, like, I hope it works for them. It probably works to some extent because people keep doing. But to me, it's like, I just don't see it, you know? There.
Yeah, so, fun fact, my first PC game was Diablo. Like, back then, the size of mine was it was great. So just, right, I'll just give you a little bit of information. So I'm in sales, so one of the biggest challenges we have is going to brands about targeting gamers, because a lot of brands come to us and say, hey, we're RPU, but we want to reach Gen Z and the younger generation. And the data shows that that's where the audience is, right? The authentic and organic approach to it. But it's brands seem to deem it brand unsafe. So therefore, we can never get over that hurdle in terms of telling them how to reach them and this is where the audience is. So that's always been my struggle. So how do you combat that conversation in terms of news?
Yeah, like, I would try to show them facts and data and show what their competitors are doing, show what other brands are doing. Like, imagine this, like, the conversation with Call of Duty is not for everyone, right? Like, maybe the US team from Burger King didn't want to do it because they didn't want to be close to guns, right? When actually people don't realize is that no one who plays that game thinks at it as a gun. It's just like digital Nerf. You see what I'm saying? Like, just like when you play, like, as a kid. So I don't know. I would try to show them. I would try to open the aperture of their minds by showing what competition is doing, showing what other brands are doing. You know, like, I prefer to be more open-minded about brand safety than becoming irrelevant, afraid of being unsafe. You see what I'm saying? Like, but to be honest with you, I was having a chat with someone from Alma this morning, from the advertising agency, and I was telling them, like, I don't know how you guys do it. You know what I'm saying? Like, because it's tricky, you know? Like, sometimes you do have someone on the other side that becomes a bottleneck for good creative and for good approaches in terms of marketing.
Yeah, I'm also what you said too, like with all the screen time stuff happening with the anxious generation and all that, do you see the numbers shrinking? Like parents getting more involved and saying, like, get off games?
Like, I try to shrink the number of the time that my kids are in front of a screen because I want them to go out and my 9-year-old, he could spend 1 million hours per day watching someone play Minecraft, like, on YouTube, like, but the target audience for most of the Activision Blizzard stuff is probably like 18 plus, you know. Even Candy Crush is 18 plus because some countries consider gambling, which he isn't, you know. But like, we gate the game and we gate social media on Diablo, on Call of Duty, on World of Warcraft. It's all gated. It's all age gated. And I think that as you are older, then that audience is growing. Because I feel like when I was a kid, okay, if we were trying to date a girl, I would probably not say, yes, I play Mario. You know, like, it was a bit embarrassing. You know, like, it was not so socially accepted as it is today. You know, today I know many people who met the girlfriend or boyfriend in the game. You see what I'm saying? Like, so it's completely different in terms of how accepted it is, and that makes the pile grow.
Well, I was even thinking, like, a marketer could bring it off the screen, right? I don't know, like, some brand you could have them in their life, but a way of sort of bridging it.
Yeah, but like it's growing. You see more people playing. I think during the pandemic there was a big boost too, right? And it probably came down a little bit, but it continues to grow. You know, like I think that more people have console. I think that the quality of the games in cell phones improved dramatically, right? I mean, I played the Snake game, right? I mean, you can play Call of Duty in the cell phone. It looks pretty awesome. You know, like it was not the case before. Like in D&E countries like Brazil, India, China, like it's a very strong mobile market because in Brazil, not everyone will have money to buy a PC game, a PC to play video game or to buy a PS5. But the penetration of smartphones is more than 100%. Literally, like people have more than one per person, like in Brazil. And that's why they play many of the Battle Royale games in cell phone. That makes the number of people playing grow. So there are forces that maybe push it down, but there are other forces that push it to grow. I will do like one more just because like, yeah, I will go there. Like, and I promise you, you can grab me outside and, yeah.
Fernando, amazing. Christian from Motorsport Network. It blows my mind. I have kids in the COD demo, kids in all the demos, but in particular COD they're obsessed with, right? And they sit there and watch other players play is beyond my imagination. Like, I can't even, I'm sitting there like, man, why are you watching someone play?
Because it's fun.
But to me, as a marketer, right, and as a salesperson, I look at that as opportunity. Yep. And I think you nailed it, primarily being on the digital ecosystem myself. You nailed what the key ask is from any brand. That's something different, right? That peacocking concept is the holy grail. Like, to be able to get that glow in the dark done, or get that specialty Burger King skin within that experience, whether it be content, whether it be media, or whether it be an engagement experiential scenario. That's what everyone's looking for. And it is what that generation is looking for. So and since the beginning that Beluga had there, it's something different, right? And that's what we all need. Whether and it just so happens that it's our kids that want to glow in the dark together in the economy. Right? So,
But there are many different ways to do it. Because the Heinz ketchup one, we didn't do anything in the game. Like I used to tell Burger King, in fact, I told that to all QSR brands that we spoke to. I said, guys, do a Candy Crush shake. No one knows how Candy Crush tastes, right? Like if you do stuff like that, I think you bring the players of that game because it triggers curiosity and interest. Guys, thank you so much. We have to keep moving. Thank you.